As a practicing litigation and appellate attorney, I can't emphasize enough the importance of electing and choosing a judge. A judge has more power and influence over your life than your county commissioner, your state representative, or your state senator. A judge has the power of God. They decide who lives or dies, whether a minor can have an abortion, who your child lives with, and whether you can see or speak to your child at all. They can take everything you've worked for your entire life away with the stroke of a pen. Martin Luther King said, "I'm not interested in power for power's sake, but I'm interested in power that is moral, that is right, and that is good."
Good morning. Good morning still to everyone. My name is Marni Bryson. I'm running for County Court, Group 7. And my background in the law, I began my career with the Attorney General's office, and I spent 3 years doing complex appellate work within the 3rd and 4th DCA all the way to the Supreme Court. I authored over 100 appeals, and 9 of them were submitted to the Supreme Court. Thereafter, I began practicing with the Public Defender's Office here in Palm Beach County, where I practiced in the county court and the circuit court and logged hundreds of hours in our courtroom. Tried over 45 jury trials and countless bench trials. Thereafter, I spent about a year in civil litigation, but my heart's always been in public service. So I returned to the Attorney General's office, where on July 17th, which is today, actually would be my 3-year anniversary with the Attorney General's office in the Medicaid Fraud Control Unit, also prosecuting abuse of the elderly and disabled. So that is my background, and I am running because I believe that real courtroom experience, like that I just told you about in my legal background, is imperative for any judge to have if they wish to preside over a trial courtroom. You must know the rules of evidence and the procedure that a jury trial should follow if you are to preserve the rights of those that come before you.
Thoughts on merit retention voting for all judges?
Merit retention voting for all judges? Well, I believe that it should. I don't have any problem with merit retention voting for all judges at all. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like anyone even votes in the merit retention for the judges that we now have sitting on our appellate benches anyway. On our ballots, because they're bottom ballot races, or say, like we're speaking about merit retention, nobody ever seems to even recognize that it's on the ballot. Nobody does. I've never heard of a judge being taken out of his or her seat in this county because of merit retention, and I'm talking about the 4th DCA. Never. So I think that it should be on the ballot for every judge. I believe in that. I think that if you have a judge on the bench that has a 6-year term, you should have the right to comment on how you believe that they are doing their job and serving you as the people. Okay, but unfortunately, we in this room are, unfortunately, a small group of people who care, and a lot of people don't. So I do believe in it. I wish more people would take notice of it. That would be yes. After I have spent virtually my whole career within our courtrooms, not in an office, not going to court 5 times a month. I've been there in the trenches, trying cases with very heavy caseloads. And when I say yes, when you ask if it's within the court system, I consider the court system to be everybody that comes into the system based from arrest forward. So I have had the privilege of practicing in front of many of the county court judges who are excellent judges. But I've also practiced throughout 5 counties, and I have been before judges that I believe gender does make a difference in their decisions and their treatment of me as an attorney. And I will say that to you. I cannot and will not name names, but it does exist. And in order to overcome that, we need to lead by example, and that's why I'm running for judge. But I will tell you that it is alive and well out there, and we have a duty to combat it. And that means that we need to take an interest in our court system and make sure that our candidates who we vote for believe in equality.
I'll repeat the question. What are your views about cameras in the courtroom?
I would say that I have a problem with cameras in the courtroom when it comes to children and to cases involving things of a nature where we need to protect the victim so that they're not victimized again. And we discussed this during our interview, that there's many times where you'll have, even in county court in domestic violence, you'll have a child that is called to testify. And in my opinion, a judge should, make a ruling as to whether or not that should be an in-camera proceeding so that that child is not videotaped and is not publicized. I think that's for the best interest of the child, for the privacy and the well-being of the child. So, in some cases, I don't have a problem with it because our courts are open courts, and that's why we have groups like Court Watch, and that's why they should be open so that everyone can know what is going on and what a judge is doing in that courtroom. However, there are some instances I believe that the well-being of a witness or a victim takes precedence over having a camera in the courtroom.
Thank you. Do you see a conflict of interest in the practice of attorneys campaigning for and donating to judicial candidates?
I myself have taken donations from some attorneys in this community, and the bottom line is that although we'd like to believe this is not a popularity contest for a vast majority of the public, unfortunately it is. This is one of the only groups that really takes an active interest in really looking at our qualifications. And these campaigns are expensive. In order for somebody to run, you need to raise money. In my professional experience, if you look at my professional experience, it has not been concentrated in one area of, say, complex civil big firm law, where I'm going to be dealing with, people that are attorneys that come before. I've been on both sides of the law. I've been an assistant public defender, I've been a prosecutor, I have been in civil litigation. Most of the contributions that have been contributed to my campaign have been from myself, because I believe that the people deserve the most qualified judge in the courtroom. And I myself have seen what can happen to people in the courtroom when you don't have a judge that knows the law and is not got there for a reason that perhaps somebody didn't take an interest and didn't look into their qualifications, and it did become a popularity contest. So to answer that question, no, I don't believe it's a conflict. I think that we as right now we're not judges, you're the judge. So it's up to you to look at our qualifications to make sure that we have the moral character and fiber to know that we will be fair on the bench, and if there came before us a party or an attorney, that there could be even the mere impropriety of some sort of favoritism, that we would recuse ourselves.
I want to thank everybody for coming out today. I just want to really briefly, Palm Beach County National Organization for Women is a 501c3 organization, which means that we don't do direct endorsements. However, Florida State now has a PAC, which is a 501c4, which means that they can do endorsements. So based on our recommendations, we're going to be bringing that to the Florida State PAC. That's going to be on July 31st. And directly following that, we will publish our endorsements for these races. And I want to thank all the judges candidates, the judicial candidates for coming out. You guys were incredible. You were very entertaining and very informative.
Great.